Hello everyone. Today I will be talking about recognizing objects and people in a 3D world from images and videos. Before I start, I would like to thank all the amazing students and researchers working in my lab for their terrific work in the past few years. The field of artificial intelligence has become a major propelling force of today's technology and societal changes. Within the field of AI, computer vision has made tremendous progress in the past 10 years. Computers can now recognize objects from images. For instance, algorithms can learn how to associate pixels to object labels, identifying objects as bounding boxes or segments, sometimes even as accurately as humans do. Computers can even reconstruct the 3D geometry of a scene better than humans now. For instance, algorithms can process multiple images of the same scene from different views and obtain an accurate metric reconstruction of the environment. This is often represented as a collection of 3D points as well as locations and poses of cameras. However, not all that glitters is gold. Many of these successes are coupled with stories that suggest that something is wrong with the way state-of-the-art platforms use vision to understand and act in a 3D world. Examples are the accident of a Tesla self-driving car with a truck. This resulted into a casualty in the summer 2016. Robots that have hard time opening a door during the latest DARPA Grand Challenge in 2015. A security robot that accidentally attacked a child. And let me elaborate more on this example. During the past summer, in a shopping mall in a Bay Area, a security robot took out a toddler. The robot is 5 foot tall, 300 pounds heavy, white and egg-shaped. It's a surveillance robot made by a San Francisco startup. The robot has almost 30 sensors, but apparently is not so great at recognizing small toddlers. According to witnesses, a kid didn't seem to notice the robot, and he bumped into it and fell forward, dropping a toy he was holding. Allegedly, as the kid tried to reach his toy, the robot ran over him. So what was the issue here? Why did the robot hit the kid? Clearly, its sensors didn't provide the correct information to the motor controller, which in turn failed to keep a safe distance from the toddler. However, to me, the most critical thing is that the robot failed to understand the context of the scene and failed to connect the dots among different visual cues. The robot failed to recognize that the boy tripped, so his body part configuration is different than the usual one, when he stands upright. Now his body lies on the floor, so do arms and legs. It also failed to recognize that the boy lost his toy, and it's likely he will be stretching his arm again to fetch it. So connecting the dots among different cues is the missing piece here, is what makes today's robotic perception far from the kind of coherent integrated interpretations that humans are capable of from just a quick glance. Let me show you a few examples that demonstrate the importance of such an integrated interpretation for object and scene understanding. Suppose that we have a robot that is supposed to grasp an object out there. So the robot starts exploring the object and recognizes a number of parts: a lid, an handle, a spout, a base. Haha, bingo! The robot quickly concludes that this must be some sort of tea kettle. However, closer inspection shows that there is something wrong here. Can you see it? Let me help you a little bit. Only after carefully looking at this mysterious object, we can actually conclude that this is an impossible tea kettle. This is an example reported in the excellent book by Don Norman, The Design of Everyday Things. In this book, the importance of coupling function, control, and perception in designing real-world objects is explored. So, what it is that makes us realize that this is an impossible tea kettle? Object parts, their physical properties, and their interrelations in the 3D space. These are the dots that our robot needs to connect in order to realize that this object can be used as a tea kettle. Thus, object parts, their physical properties, and their interrelations in the 3D space are key for object understanding. Let me show you now another example. Suppose that we have an autonomous car that encounters the following scene and must decide what to do. The car starts analyzing the scene and recognizes a number of objects like these. These are shown as bounding boxes. It also estimates the pose of these objects, right, left, and so on, as well as the velocities, which are shown with arrows. The car starts interpreting the scene. Let's see. Perhaps the road is this way, and cars are going from left to right. But then, how about this car here? The robot is confused. Let's have the robot to look at this car more carefully. Aha, our car got it. The road goes this way, and the cars are turning. But wait, how about those cars up there? Our autonomous car is confused again. Can you guess the right configuration here? This is actually Lombard Street in San Francisco. All these cars that beginning looked in apparent chaos are actually consistent with the road. It's really the complex interrelations of objects and the 3D space that makes out the story of this image. Only if such level of understanding is possible, then our autonomous car can successfully drive through this environment. So objects, their physical properties, and their interrelations in the 3D space are key for scene understanding. Let me show you one last example. Suppose that we have an assisted robot that can help serving food in a restaurant. As usual, what the robot sees is a number of bounding boxes with labels. Humans, objects, perhaps pose. Is this sufficient to tell what's going on in the scene? Probably not. And here is the actual scene. So only by considering the interrelation among objects, people, and space, one can infer that these three people are standing in a line and waiting to get food from the food bar. These people are eating and drinking, and this woman is serving drinks to them. Similarly to what we have discussed before, it is the interrelation among objects, people, and the 3D space that is critical for understanding and predicting which activities are taking place in the scene. So in summary, if we want to establish a positive loop that connects artificial agents with the environment through sensing and action, it's not just sufficient to associate pixels to label or get the geometry right, but rather one should design ways for representing the 3D physical space and arrangements of objects in it, grounding representation for objects to the 3D physical properties of the world, representing human-human and human objects interrelations in the 3D physical space. This has been the main theme of my group's research over the past few years. Let me start with the first topic, grounding representations for objects to the 3D physical properties of the world.